are these people?
I also wanted to make mention really quickly of Aaron Reishin Melnick, who has been one of these ICE, kind of watchdog lawyers that has been following what's been happening with all these arrests and deportations of immigrants, of green card holders, and of people here that are on asylum. There are also definitely deportations of people who were here illegally, but I think a lot of them had fallen under some kind of an allowance that has now been stripped. So what Aaron claimed here, and this was on May 20th, was that according to litigators, ICE just put 12 men on a flight to South Sudan, a country which is on the brink of civil war, in direct defiance of a court order requiring ICE to give people an opportunity to raise objections before being sent to a country not their own. Wait, what? So these were not South Sudanese people? Litigators filed an emergency request for a restraining order to halt the flight from taking off, or if it's already in the air, to turn it around. Of course, we know that didn't happen. Citing the Supreme Court's decision on the Alien Enemies Act, they emphasized that people on the flight were denied due process, which the Trump administration does not care about. The men reportedly being sent to South Sudan include at least 2 of the men the administration previously had tried to send to Libya. If it's the same 12 men, it includes people from Mexico, Bolivia, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, and other countries. Not people from South Sudan. They're literally just trying to put them on a plane and drop them there with no money, no contacts, no nothing, no life. These are the worst people. They're horrible. They're killers. They're murderers. You don't do this. You try them. You give them due process. You let them prove their case. You give them a lawyer. That's what we do in this country, or what we have done. But apparently that doesn't happen here anymore. He says the litigators argue that this flight to South Sudan, if it's real, would clearly violate a court order, which was already upheld by the First Circuit, which requires ICE to give people being deported to a country not their own a chance to raise concerns. And I would say that on the brink of civil war gives you a reason to raise concern. The full motion for the temporary restraining order is here. Here's the email. The wife of one of the men reportedly on his way to South Sudan sent his lawyer yesterday. She said her husband and 11 others had been told by ICE that they'd be sent to South Africa. They'd been sent to South Africa, refused, then told they'd be sent to South Sudan. She ends with a plea for help. This is, again, please follow Aaron Reichlin Melnick on Twitter, senior fellow for the IMM Council. All right. He's tweeting with the IJC Corps, the Immigrant Justice Corps. And somebody needs to be telling the story about what's happening here, because they're just trying to disappear people. Somebody was also told the wrong country. Yes. But South Sudan. They theoretically had a plan to go to South Africa. Definitely could have been a game of telephone being played. ICE officer ordered to issue these notices thought it was South Africa. Oh, man, what a mess. The fact that any of this is happening like this. Here we go. In a late-night court hearing, the Trump admin says that it deported the Burmese men to Burma, refusing to say where it deported the Vietnamese men, claiming it's classified. What? The judge ordered ICE to tell everyone involved that they may face criminal contempt. Wait, what? This is a crazy story. This seems like it may be contempt. Officials involved in the deportations who were aware of his order, including the pilots of the plane, could face criminal sanctions. Good. Sorry. You can't just do this. Apparently they did. South Sudan. The New York Times had more details. Apparently they got a report. They had a reporter at a hearing. Wow, what a mess. What a mess all of this is. And this keeps going. Here we go. Flight trackers have been following one particular jet overnight, which took off from Harlingen, Texas, near the relevant detention center, and appears to be on a direct path to South Sudan. That was May 21st. Huh. So apparently they did send them all to South Sudan. Oh, okay. Interesting. Sure. Stay on this story, please. And seeing where they're deporting people and what they're doing, this is really, really scary. They're just disappearing people, and very few are even paying attention. Very few are standing up to say anything. And what's going to happen here? It's frightening, because they're going to start doing this to the dissident people that are standing up against what Israel's doing to the people in Gaza and the West Bank and Lebanon and Syria. If you're able to, and it means, please support the independent media you want to see. Those are the amazing people that have already done so. The ways to do it are Cash App, $Indie News Network, Kodashfee.com/Indie News Network, PayPal.me/Indie News Network, and at INNnewsletter.com. Continue to support independent media, because we need it more than ever. So many propagandists out there. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. No! We just fucking lost the stream!
You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Why play civil if you won't listen? 50,000 died, and now we know our mission. We form a militia, make Congress a prison.